Yo, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Key coming at y'all boys with a brand new video, and today we finna go ahead and get into another one. Rappers that died on drills. Now we already know we're probably gonna see some Lil Jeff and this, that, and the third. But with that being said, man, let's go ahead and get into it. We're on the road to 10K. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check it out. He the most famous one that died on the drill at this point. Lil Jeff, everybody know that story. Even the folk who don't
There's
know
a popular
about
saying
Chicago
that
drill
goes, live by the gun, die by the gun. This saying teaches us that the lifestyles we choose to live can often have unintended yet predictable outcomes. The subjects of today's video would come face to face with this lesson. In today's video, we'll be telling the stories of 3 rappers that died while in the act of trying to kill another person. But before we get into the video, please be sure to like and subscribe.
if I'm not mistaken. Big Bucks Elo.
Big Bucks Elo, real name Elijah McKinney, was from St. Louis, Missouri. Similar to cities like Chicago, Philadelphia, and New Orleans, murder is commonplace in St. Louis. According to CBS News, it's the second most dangerous city in America. St. Louis has heavy gang activity going on, and Elo was involved. He was a member of a gang called Big Bucks. Big Bucks primarily consists of 6 Deuce Crips, and they reside on Solway Avenue in North St. Louis. Elo was known for allegedly being a top shooter in his crew and was thirsty to go after his opposition. St. Louis, similar to many cities with heavy gang activity, contained many gang members that also rapped. Elo was a drill rapper, and his songs primarily served as disses to his ops and described his life in the streets. One of Big Buck's main ops is another crew called The Six. On December 5, 2016, Elo lost a close friend of his named Rookie, real name Damani H., who died as a result of a drive-by shooting. It's rumored that members of The Six were allegedly responsible for this. More specifically, a rapper from The Six named KB6. Years down the line, Elo would run into KB6 and would go on a wild mission to kill him in order to avenge Rookie. That mission would ultimately cost Elo his life.
Get to that breaking news we are covering for you in North St. Louis. Police telling us several people have been shot and 3 of them have died. This happened just before 2 o'clock this afternoon in the Walnut Park West neighborhood.
On July 29, 2020, Elo, his friend named Day Sav, real name Dejan Nearing, and another friend named J2Z, real name Joshua Emerson, were in a stolen car riding through the 5500 block of Floyd Avenue at about 1:40 p.m. Elo was the driver, Day Sav was in the front passenger seat, and J2Z was in the back. As they were driving, they spotted KB. Upon spotting him, they opened fire, shooting him multiple times. Members of the Six were in the area and started shooting back at Elo and his crew, leading to a full-blown shootout. People who lived nearby told police they heard non-stop gunshots. During this shootout, both Elo, Day Sav, and J2Z were all shot repeatedly. In the aftermath, KB, Elo, and Day Sav were all pronounced dead at the scene. KB was just 22 years old, and Elo and Day Sav were just 18 years old. J2Z, who was 17 at the time, was taken to the hospital and ultimately survived his injuries. The killers of Elo and Day Sav weren't charged, most likely due to self-defense. J2Z was actually the one charged with all 3 murders. He was officially charged with 1 count of first-degree murder for the death of KB and 2 counts of second-degree murder for the deaths of Elo.
They call that shit? It's like a murder or whatever in the commission of
and Day Sav. Missouri law allows prosecutors to file murder charges if someone dies during the commission of a felony, even if the defendant did not directly cause the death. After 3 years, those charges were ultimately dismissed without prejudice, meaning they could possibly be filed again at a later date. The reason Jay's charges were dropped is because all of the possible witnesses refused to respond and show up to court. In the end, Elo achieved his goal of killing his bitter enemy, but suffered the ultimate consequence as a result. Blumberg G's, real name Anthony Watson, was from North Philadelphia. He was a member of a set called Blumberg, also known as the Black Flags. The Black Flags primarily beef with Zoo Gang, Diamond Street, and Burke Street /2418. Blumberg G's would eventually start rapping and built a reputation for himself in the streets. Most of his songs were about killing his enemies. He was known for always being willing to go on a drill and never hesitating to fire his gun. This mentality would lead to G's eventually getting charged with murder. On August 23, 2020, a rival gang member to G's named Little Ranger, real name Hayward Garrison, was in the 2200 block of Diamond Street just after 1 a.m. when a gunman pulled up and opened fire. Little Ranger was struck, then he reportedly ran to the corner of Van Pelt and Diamond Street where he collapsed and was quickly picked up by a passing vehicle. While the car was driving to the hospital, the occupants flagged down a police cruiser that was responding to the shooting. Little Ranger was placed in the police car and taken to Temple Hospital, where he passed away just after 1:30 a.m. at just 16 years old. Blumberg G's was allegedly the gunman in this incident. It is widely rumored that Little Ranger allegedly killed a Black Flag member named 40 earlier that year, and this is why Blumberg G's allegedly killed him. Blumberg G's was officially charged for the 2020 murder of Little Ranger in March of 2022, and he was placed on Philadelphia's most wanted list. Rather than turn himself in, G's would go on the run. While on the run, he didn't keep a low profile. Similar to the rapper K, he continued to make music and post music videos on his YouTube channel despite the fact that he was on the most wanted list and the police were looking for him. G's was on the run for over a year and was never caught. Ultimately, the police would never get the chance to arrest him as G's would lose his life while attempting—
How the fuck you on the run for a year and your ops catch you before the police? Like, bro, what? Were y'all even looking for him? Usually street justice is faster. You feel what I'm saying? Like they already know who did it. They just got to figure out a way that they can, you know what I'm saying, bring the case against them, get them indicted or whatever, right? So they end up dying before they can do what they do. Like King Von died 3 months after FBG Duck got killed. How you gonna charge him for that? You know what I'm saying? Even though it should have damn near been instant because y'all know who did it. Y'all got camera footage. Y'all came and picked up the car after they did the drill. The next day, y'all know who did it. But y'all ain't charged nobody for like a year.
To kill one of his enemies. On May 31st, 2023, G's was sliding on members of Zoo Gang in the 1800 block of North Woodstock Street just after 8:15 p.m. Once spotting some of his ops, gunfire erupted. In the aftermath, G's was shot once in the head and was then rushed to Temple University Hospital. 4 hours later, he would succumb to his injuries and be officially pronounced dead at just 21 years old. Members of Zoo Gang would claim that they were the ones that killed G's as he tried to slide on them, but members of the Black Flags and people online would claim that G's was accidentally killed by friendly fire by the person he was sliding with. The truth of what happened has not yet been officially confirmed. G's was wearing gloves and a mask when he died, so it was clear that he was on a drill when it happened.
One thing that I will say about Lil Jeff is he spoke too much about his death. And I feel like that's one of them. I feel like the tongue is one of the most powerful things in the world. And that, I feel like, also led to his death. Like, even though you're doing what you're doing, you're still supposed to speak life into yourself. If you speak death into yourself, it's going to come sooner than later.
Little Jeff, real name Jeffrey Harris, is a rapper and gang member from the east side of Chicago. He had 2 brothers and was raised primarily by his mother as his dad wasn't really around. He quit playing basketball after he didn't make the varsity team, so he looked for something else to do with his life. His rough upbringing led to him gravitating towards the streets. When Jeff was just 14 years old, his house was shot up and a bullet flew by his face, nearly hitting him. His older brother was active in the streets and would introduce Jeff to it. He officially jumped off the porch at 18 years old. Jeff was a member of Drill City / Bloodhound, which claims the area of 79th and Maryland. They beef with BKN, Trap City, TYMB, 8 Trey Mob, and 800. Little Jeff was wild. He got a bullet tattooed on his face, but was always on Instagram Live dropping his location and displaying heavy artillery. Little Jeff became well known because he openly bragged on numerous occasions that he killed over 10 people and that he was a top killer in Chicago. The Bloodhound's primary beef is with another group called Trap City. Trap City and the Bloodhounds actually used to be cool with each other, but according to an interview Trap City members did, the beef started after members of the Bloodhounds allegedly stole a chain from a Trap City member. Both sides would start dissing each other, and eventually things escalated to bloodshed. On March 16, 2023, a beloved member of the Bloodhounds named Z-Money, real name Zaire Nelson, was shot and killed. It is widely believed that Trap City was allegedly responsible for this murder. Lil Jeff said in an interview that the death of Z-Money made him see red and made him cold-hearted. About 3 months later, Lil Jeff would allegedly avenge Z-Money's death. On June 25, 2023, a Trap City member named Leo, real name Jaleel Goins, had just got into the back seat of a Lyft ride in the 1300 block of West Taylor Street in Little Italy just before 9 p.m. when another car approached. Someone inside hopped out, walked up to the backseat window where Leo was sitting, and opened fire. Leo was shot multiple times and rushed to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead at just 19 years old. Lil Jeff and other members of Bloodhound went on social media and pretty much openly confessed to being responsible for Leo's murder and that it was a get back for Z-Money. Following this incident, Lil Jeff would continue to kill. Lil Jeff and Bloodhound used to be cool with members of B.
Now, one thing that I will say about like the stories or like the studying that I've been doing about people who really be killing and this, that, and the third, after they get that first body and that monkey off their back, it makes it way easier to, you know what I'm saying, to keep doing what they done already did. But you know, it's like prevention before care. If you don't want that man to be a serial killer or make it just easy on him to kill somebody, can't kill nobody. It makes it
in
easy.
fact, there's videos of Jeff online hanging out with them.
Obvious,
well, everything changed after Jeff was allegedly robbed by BKN members for his watches. This made him want to get back at them as soon as possible. Well, he would allegedly do so in a horrific manner. On January 26, 2024, a BKN member named Monty, real name Ontario Williams, and another young man named Little Rob, real name Robert Boston, were standing outside of their school, Innovations High School, when a group of masked gunmen jumped out of two vehicles in front of the school and opened fire. The gunmen let off dozens of shots, striking Monty and Little Rob multiple times in the chest. Both were rushed to the hospital, where Monty would be pronounced dead at just 17 years old, and Little Rob would be pronounced dead at just 16 years old. Following this double homicide, Lil Jeff went on social media, openly bragging about being responsible, claiming that he and his crew killed them because they stole from him. Jeff had already started rapping at this point, but he hadn't had that much success. Him bragging so openly about this double murder actually made him go viral online, and all of his music began to boost in popularity. As his music was rising in popularity and people began to learn of his story and claims of allegedly having over 10 bodies, Jeff's fame continued to grow at a fast pace. Despite his rising fame and finances, Lil Jeff could never get over his bloodthirst, especially for members of Trap City. This bloodthirst would lead to his untimely death. On June 8, 2024, Lil Jeff was in the 6600 block of South Roads at 5:14 p.m. with other members of the Bloodhounds looking for Trap City members. Once they spotted one, Lil Jeff hopped out of the car shooting and chased his victim into a house. Once he reached the steps of the house, someone within the house returned fire and shot Jeff in the chest. The shooter then stood over Jeff and shot him up to 15 times. The people with Jeff shot back, but it was too late. Once the gunfire ended, Jeff's crew transported him to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead at just 21 years old. The whole shootout was caught on camera, and the footage went viral online. A member of Trap City named Rob is believed to be the gunman that killed Jeff. Rob is currently locked up for a separate gun charge. He was not charged with the murder of Jeff, likely due to Chicago's mutual combat law that has been applied to other Chicago shootouts in the past.
But I think
Following
they charged
his death,
him with
Lil Jeff's notoriety.
They charged him with the armed habitual, and an armed habitual criminal in Chicago, they throwing the book at you like you getting like, I think they said that's like 7 to 15 or something like that.
He's grown to new heights, and he has become the face of modern drill music.
Like,
this lifestyle is crazy. There's truly no winners. It seems like everyone's story ends in one or two sad outcomes. Stay out of the streets. RIP to everyone who passed away in this video.
Yeah, so with that being said, man, that's gonna wrap up that video. But at the end of the day, I know in Georgia, at least, if you're a felon and you kill somebody or shoot somebody in self-defense, as long as no innocent bystanders are hit, they don't charge you with possession of a firearm being a felon. You know what I'm saying? It was self-defense. You had to do what you had to do to save your life. Now, if you hit an innocent bystander, then you can get charged with not only, you know what I'm saying, attempted murder or aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, but you can get charged with that gun as well. So with that being said, man, it's your boy Key checking in, checking out. Learn the laws of the land where you at. You feel what I'm saying? We gone.